Nano crew is in the building. I didn't even know there was a thing, but there is now. And yes, I am so glad to be back and with me for our first, what I'm calling KBS Extra. It's the Nano Girl. How you doing, Nano?
Hey, I'm doing excellent. And how are you, Mr. Kev?
I am doing absolutely splendiferous. I'm thriving in these rather strange conditions that we find ourselves living today. How's things over in California, Nano?
Oh, well, we'll be talking about our delightful governor. He's doing. Oh my God.
He's a piece of work. Are you keeping safe? Are you all right? Yeah, I'm sure the listeners will be wondering, how is our Nano Girl?
I'm doing good. I'm still able to walk to the beach every day. So every day I get to go to the beach is a good day. I know that they closed all the beaches off in Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz is 30 minutes north of me, so about 30 miles. And they were concerned about the Easter crowds, and they didn't want anybody, gumming up our beaches and being, not doing social distancing. Even though they hand out $1,000 tickets for that. But yeah, so over here, oh please, we can still go to the beach, and we can't park our cars close, and we have to walk. But I'll take it. There's such a spiritual connection with that ocean, especially during times like this. It's important to have that kind of connection, even for 5 minutes, to just take a look at the ocean and feel like, oh, I'm there, I'm okay, everything's going to be all right,
It's a very good point, and I must admit I'm rather envious. Don't get me wrong, we do have some nice coastline here in Scotland. We don't quite have the weather that you guys have, right enough. There is one place, though, I can think of a couple of places actually, where we've got almost tropically white sand. And yeah, I reckon a walk on the beach right now would be pretty darn good. We've got the park just down the road from me, but really I've just been going out the back for some weather. And because the weather was good this weekend, we were getting told off as well. And it'll be interesting to see if everyone heeded the advice of staying home or what people are getting up to, Nano. But we're not going to be doom and gloom today.
No, we're going to be silly and informative. Well, maybe not too informative. We'll be silly. We'll be a little bit informative. We'll be a little bit philosophical, but we'll be mostly having fun. This is a fun day. We want a little bit break of the other stuff, right? We talk about it enough. I know I watch it 24/7. God, I know I should do something else with my life, but I can't. I'm just addicted.
It's I think a lot of us find ourselves in that position right now, Nano.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of the last event where I really spent this much time looking at the information coming at us.
Yeah.
And even after that day in September, way back in 2001, it took a while for the information really to filter out, or at least for me to get it. But this has been really intensive. And we've been covering it from the start, myself and Scotty. We were looking at the graphs early on. And I had to take a break back then because I'd noticed myself, wasn't sleeping right anymore, wasn't eating right anymore. And you got to really look after yourself, when one of these things is happening, because you can spend too much time down the rabbit hole to the point where you're doing yourself, some physical damage. Not good.
No, and I think the difference for me between this and 9/11 is this is ongoing. It's not over in a couple of hours, at least the event. And the fact that we've been invited to show up and participate real time. So that's very different. I feel, I know I chide myself in a lot of times saying, you need to be doing something else. And I'm thinking, no, I feel like a part of what I'm supposed to be doing is exactly what I am doing. And I do try to do a little bit of it in prayer and a little bit in meditation, that kind of thing. But I'd like to think that our thoughts and our participation is going to help alter maybe the total outcome that those guys wanted, and that we can start to push it in a direction that's much better, even for them. They don't realize it yet, but even for them, you know?
No, absolutely, Nano. And
Yeah.
we're almost going back to basics tonight, right? Because
Yeah.
we're going to be looking at some of the robots, some of the technology that's coming
Yeah.
our way. I mean, what have you put
Yeah.
together for us? You're calling this the world in transition, right?
I am, yes. And thank you for my wonderful intro. I love it. You do such a good job.
Not
Yeah,
half as good a job as you do of the PowerPoints, I must admit.
Oh, well, thank
Very
you.
well put together, yes.
I have a good time doing it. So we'll go to slide 2. So basically, there's a couple of thoughts I want to share with you, and then we'll just kind of get into the fun part. But there's some, I had another epiphany this week. I have to share my epiphanies.
I think we're all having a few of them right now, Nano.
I hope we're having something.
It's Epiphany season. It really is.
It is. It's Epiphany or us. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Epiphany or us.
Yeah.
So I started thinking the other day that this event reminds me, everybody's dated somebody, okay? Everybody's dated somebody. Everybody went back with that somebody. Well, everybody broke up with somebody and everybody went back with that person. Everybody did that in their lifetime at least once or twice, right? We all did, okay? I'm really going to break with them. Then you break up with them. Then you go back with them maybe 1 or 2 more times and then you're really done. As you get older, you skip going back once or twice. But you get my drift.
Yeah.
And while I'm watching the Washington crowd put together the get well plan, if you will, or whatever they want to call it, I'm thinking to myself, I want to break up with you. And I don't want to go back. It wasn't fun the first 5 times you guys did this. 2008, you know the dates. And I'm thinking, how many times do you get to screw me over before I don't date you anymore? And so I'm pondering that epiphany, but that was a good one. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm thinking, because again, it's about our transition. It's about us looking at how we want to change our planet. And so if we kind of go through, if we look at this slide, I put this slide together because number 2, if you go to 2, Kev, this is the slide where we want to go, right? We want world peace. We want family and community. We want abundance. We want good health. We don't want any more of their poison food or their vaccinations and their crappy water. We want all that. And then we want the ability to be like the Avatar movie. And if we want to love a tree or love our friends or, love our community, then that's basically, we have the freedom of religion and speech and, all those things and the Bill of Rights and the Constitution and all that kind of good stuff. So we've earned that. This is what we want. And I don't see them talking about any of this, right? Because we've got all the other characters. So if we go to slide number 3, okay, and we're not going to spend more than 2 seconds on this. This is what they want. And as Joe says, the powers that should not be. This is what they want. And I'm not interested in that. And then if we go to slide number 4, I want to talk a little bit about Akira Kurosawa. So he was a director, and he directed 7 Samurai, and he was a very famous director. And he said that when villains, from his point of view, the villain never changes. The hero does, but never the bad guy. And that when the evil person, the evil people, the evil villains in any movie show up, they're whole and complete. They're ready to go. Like if you look at the Joker or the Emperor or Darth Vader, there really wasn't any epiphanies for those guys. They were just fine the way they were. Maybe you got to see how they got there, but when they got there, they were there. But the reason we watch those movies is because we watch the hero grow. And that's the satisfaction of those movies. I mean, if I think about Star Wars, or my favorite is The Gladiator.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
And the reason I love that movie, Kev, this is my main, well, besides Russell Crowe. But
I was going to say that, Nano. There's
I know,
a
I'm
dual
admitting.
reason here, yeah.
Yeah, okay, 2 reasons. All right, the second reason, which is really more important, is the fact that in the beginning of the movie, he has the king behind him. He has an army. He has horses, money, a family, a farm, a wife, and a child. And so he has everything that could make him a good captain, or I can't remember what his. I think he was a captain or the leader, but he was the head of the army. Well, in the middle of the movie, if we've all seen it, all of that gets wiped away, every single bit of it, and he ends up in that arena, and he has none of that. The king is gone. His wife and family are dead. The farm's gone. His army's gone, and he's just standing there. But the amazing part of that movie is he's even more powerful than he was when he had the army and he had all that stuff in his life, because he has a mission. And that's what makes him so powerful. And that emperor in that movie, my favorite line in there is the time for honoring yourself, emperor, will soon be at an end. And I think about this movie a lot, and I think about that statement a lot, because I think about the characters that we're up against, as it were, and the time for them to be honoring themselves really is going to be coming to an end, because we're no longer interested. Again, I don't want to date them anymore. I don't want to play. I just don't want to play their game. I want a new game. I want something new where we, the people, are represented, where we really can go forward and bring in that timeline that I think was gone when they killed JFK. I think that timeline got shifted. We need to shift it back, or at least knock it on its side, so we can start to see maybe where we're going.
I find it interesting you've got all these things coming together at this time. And I think more and more people really were waking up to the fact that these people, they don't have our best interests at heart. And the corruption was becoming more and more obvious. And I'm not for 1 minute suggesting that we're in this position where we are right now with everything going on to counter that awakening. But it does make me wonder how long we'll be kept in these current conditions, because they know that people are waking up, Nano. And politics is pretty broken. You can look at ours over here. You can look at the American system as well. And it's nothing against the American people or the British people. It's the systems that we've had placed over us and the characters that carry out the roles and the jobs in that system. And I'm like you, I think that was coming to an end. And I do think we're very, very influential and important in how things will play out moving forward from here. I really do.
Right. I agree. And the last slide I wanted to talk about on this particular subject, if you go to number 5, is last night you and Scott and Joe were talking about where we are. And Scott said something along the lines that we're in a transition. And I was listening to Robert Phoenix too, and he talked about the Bardo, that we're in a Bardo, the Bardo is a state of existence intermediate between two lives here on Earth. So in a way, we really are in a transition. We don't know where this is going to land us. We know we're probably not going to get to go back, because they've already pulled this big stunt. So it's already altered everything. So we are now examining within ourselves what and who we are. We are the heroes now that are going to grow through this particular event.
See, that's the thing it's really easy to lose sight of with all the physical stuff going on around about us. There are these big spiritual and quantum field level changes going on to our consciousness, to the planet, to the solar system, and with everything being connected. And again, hey, listen, I've lost sight of it more times than I've remembered it while all this has been playing out, so it's no criticism of anyone. But it's trying to grasp the magnitude of the times we're living in, Nano. And I know it can scare some people, but me and you, we flip that round. What a time of opportunity as well. And I say that with the utmost, the deepest of respect to every one of these families that have been affected by this pesky thing so far. I really, really do. But in their name, for them, we should double down and make sure it is a better place. after all is said and done, right?
I think that's why we came here. I mean, I feel like that's the whole reason I came here. Dedicated my life to this, and I think a lot of spiritual workers have, like, you know,
And you truly
I,
have, Nano, because people only see you, the
right.
Nano Girl, on the show, but
Yeah.
I get your mails, I get your messages, and but you've been consistent all the way through since I've known you, and some people would call it a light worker. I don't know. You're just on the good team, but just people
Oh,
might not
thanks.
really appreciate that because they only get to see little bits and pieces of you. They get to see warts and all with me every day, but just to kind of put it into some context for people. It's not just Nano coming on and talking the talk. It's a constant thing. And I would imagine that it has been something you've been doing all your life.
Yeah, I would say since the time I was about 13. Yep, I started questioning everything right around 13. I would read the paper and I'd think, well, how come this is this and that's that? Started asking questions then. I was one of those people, and and then once the Kennedy thing happened and I got handed a book, right, Rush to Judgment by Mark Lane, that was it. And I think I was 21 when I read that. And this guy handed it to me and he said, "You're never going to see this the same again." He was right. So it pretty much started then. So
wow.
Yeah, I know. So it's been a long journey. That's what I said. I swear to God, I think all of us here, anybody that you and anyone that shows up in your chat room and people that listen, our kindred spirits are here and they've probably spent their life doing this.
I find it, and it's not, you've commented on it. Many people have commented that there is something a little bit different about the chat and the people that come here. And
Very good
it's not that
people.
we're any better than anyone else, but I do think that we're recognizing that we do have some common goal. Maybe we have some
Right.
common soul stuff going on. I don't know, but it is. It's like, and it's not just here. I suppose tribes are coming together all around the world, in separate movements, different things going
Right.
on. It's just the times that we're living in, I think, and people
Yeah.
of like frequency and intention seem to be drawn together.
Well, especially at a time like this, I mean, even the people people are not talking in the grocery store like they were the first couple of weeks, but we're out there, right? And we're starting to recognize each other, and we do recognize each other right away. It takes like 2 seconds. And I think it's during times like that that is the power of the light. Because I was reading something today about, it's like the darkness is always there, but then the light breaks through. It's like then they were talking about Easter. That it is the resurrection and of Christ and him coming back to life. And I think it's interesting that Trump had originally chosen tomorrow for the day to let us out of jail. And I think this is going to be a very powerful Easter. It doesn't matter that people can't be there physically. I bet you worldwide, there's going to be something very special about tomorrow. People are going to be able to feel it. There's something about Easter anyway. It's a very special day. Regardless of what your faith is, there's something about this. But certainly we could appreciate what the Christ person has gone through.
And I was listening to, quite interesting, the World Economic Forum. Somebody I usually keep an eye on. Quite interesting to watch what they're talking about. But they've started a special podcast in response to everything going on, and it's the world versus the virus. And they were talking today about some of the stuff that's going on around the world, and they were questioning, whether we could ever get back to where we were, being these social kind of creatures and things like that as well. I find it interesting that they're so kind of closely following this event as it plays out, being a very major globalist group that they are. But just listening to them talking, they were talking about global this, global that. That's another part of moving forward, Nano, for me. I would love to see us getting together on a global level, just not with the
Right.
rules that these guys have intended for us, right?
Yeah, I agree. I don't see anything wrong with global, not from the globalists, but in a healthy, healed world, there wouldn't be any borders. You know, it's kind of like that song Imagine. God forbid I bring that up, but you know, if this was really a sort of spiritual, God-filled world right now, and we didn't have all the dark stuff at the moment, think how amazing this would be, because I think so many people in every country want the same thing. I mean, I've traveled a lot. Everybody wants the same thing. They want their families to be okay. They want they want to live in a house. They want a job. They want money. Not a lot of money, but enough money. They want to feed their families, and they like having people come from different parts of the world to talk to them and speak to them about their country, share the traditions. I mean, we all like that. And I love the fact when you go to different countries, you get to experience those traditions. And that's the best part of traveling, and the food and just the culture. So, you know, that's kind of, and like I said, I never went anywhere where people were not wanting the same things.
Yeah.
You know, it boils down to friends and family and love and, you know, just the basic stuff.
I tell you,
Somehow we lost that. I don't know.
That World Economic Forum, it said one more thing before we go back to the slides here.
Sure.
And it kind of really makes you think about the times that we are living in, because only one other time in history, at least that we're told of, that there was a mass lockdown because of a plague during Passover. And that, of course, was when the plague was in the Bible and the Israelites were to stay at home and things like that.
For Moses?
Yeah. So it makes you think, you know. And it was a rabbi, a priest, and an imam that we're talking. It sounds like the start of a good joke. But again, it was this World Economic Forum. And the only thing was, it started to sound very much like a world religion kind of thing, conversation coming together. And look, people have got their own beliefs. Me and Nano don't judge anyone for any belief, as long as you don't want to do harm by people. All welcome here. But yeah, it got me thinking, Nano. I mean, I've already said we're in historic times, and you think about it, but when you really do put it like that, I mean, wow. Talk about a time of transition, like you say.
Yeah, it is. And my favorite Moses movie is the Cecil B. DeMille, right, with Charlton Heston, which is at this point, what, 750 years old.
Funny you bring up Moses, because Bill Bean got in touch with me before the show.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be doing a show later on this week about Mandela effect with Chris Anatra, the quantum businessman. And Bill was telling me, and he's plagued, pardon the pun, by these Mandela effects, Nanogirl. It drives him insane. And if I was to ask you, did Moses go up the mountain himself to get the commandments from God?
Yes, he did.
Not anymore.
Who did he take?
Joshua. His minister
Joshua.
No,
he didn't.
But, well,
he didn't take Joshua.
I know Bill Bean is probably still hiding under his bed or exploding somewhere right now. I was shocked.
Well, does he have the Cecil B. DeMille movie?
I'm not sure. I'd need to check.
Tell him to check out the Cecil B. DeMille Moses movie.
You see, we've got all this going on, right? We've got all the real world stuff going on, and history changing around us. I mean, hey, never a dull moment.
Check out Cecil B. DeMille.
I'll
because
check it out.
I've seen that movie like 20 times.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he goes himself.
He does go himself, because everybody does Sodom and Gomorrah till he comes back, and then he takes the commandments and throws it on him.
And because we're not constrained by time or breaks or anything here today, I mean, Chris Anatra, the quantum businessman, you are impressed with this guy, right?
Oh my God, I learned so much from him. It's so hard for me to keep up with what he's saying, because I'm learning while he's speaking.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, because he'll say something, I'll actually stop the YouTube and go back and go, what did you say?
I'm actually looking for his channel right now, because he's premiering
It's really great.
He's premiering something right now, and then later on in the week he's got another video to premiere, and I think the plan is he'll premiere the video and then he'll come on the show immediately after the premiere's gone out. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'll see if I can bring it up here, the channel, for people to see just quickly.
Okay.
Where are we now?
All right. Yeah, because, well, do you mind if I say something then while you're doing that?
There you go.
Okay, so you guys, I was listening to his channel, and it's like he's got a cliffhanger. He's got these cliffhangers, but basically he's gone to sacred sites, right, Kev, on the planet.
Yep.
And he's inserting his own Mandela changes to write the history. RIGHT.
Rehacking the Matrix.
He's rehacking. And I'm thinking, oh my God, how do you do that?
Yeah.
Well, we've been told, spiritually speaking, we have been told forever that we can change our past and our future.
Mm-hmm.
By changing who we are and changing our attitudes and changing from anger to love, that kind of stuff, which I've never really been able to figure out. I believe it, but I just, but then you hear somebody doing it real time with some people that know what they're doing. And so, yeah, I can't wait to see the next installment.
Yes, that's going to be very interesting. So keep your eyes on KBS this week. I think we'll probably have to do that one on YouTube, I would imagine. Wow. Yes, indeedy.
That is awesome. Well, you want to go to the next slide?
Yeah, what else you got here, Nano?
Oh, we got lots of stuff, Kev.
I still like the Bardo. I like that.
Do you want to talk about the Bardo some more?
I like Bardo, yeah. I've never heard it being called this before. I quite like that. And did you mention Robert Phoenix?
Yes.
Yeah, that's somebody my good friend Nancy talks about as well. I sometimes catches stuff. Sometimes I don't. But yeah, I quite like that guy. Yep.
Robert's been on a roll. I can't say enough good stuff about him I would say last 3 to 4 weeks. He and I have a lot of historical moves that like, we both come from California, and he's now living in Texas, and I was in Texas for a while and then came back. So I kind of and he tells all these stories about, his experiences and where he lived in California and that kind of stuff. So I know what he's talking about. So there's always kind of that connection, but he's been really on point about what he's seeing, how he's seeing things roll out, how these things are impacting this, that, and the other thing. And then he brought up the word Bardo. And then I heard you guys talking last night, and I'm thinking, oh my God, because if you hear something twice, that begins to be a pattern, at least in my head. And I'm thinking the Bardo, because supposedly when we die, we don't go to heaven or hell right away. We go to the Bardo. And the Bardo it's almost like that movie Defending Your Life, only I don't think you get ice cream. I think you're there without your body. And there's these moments, it's a certain amount of time. And in some ways you're tested, and you have to decide what you've gathered from the lifetime. Are you ready then to go to the next level of reality, or the next, whatever? But there is this, and I guess it isn't easy to be there. That's what I've heard, that it can, and that people actually prepare themselves when they're getting close to the end of their lives to go through the process of the Bardo.
So it's almost like another version of the Egyptian kind of
purgatory, like a purgatory. Well, I guess no, you get stuck in purgatory.
Egyptians kind of take when like go into the underworld when they die, things like that. Right. A different way of looking at it altogether. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think what it does when you're presented with this. And in where we stand right now today, we're being handed a moment in time to take responsibility for what role we're playing in this transition. We get to choose every single day in real time, and I think about the fact that I don't sleep, and and all this kind of stuff, but I'm thinking there'll be time enough for sleeping later. I think right now I need to be thinking and having epiphanies and moving myself forward through this and figuring out while all our teams that we go to every day and listen to everybody's, information or thoughts on this and start to compile it for ourselves. Because you listen to someone over here and you listen to somebody over there, and then all of a sudden it just sort of pulls those ideas together, and it's like, aha. My friend spent a lot of time trying to explain what the Bardo was because it scared the heck out of me. I was like, wait a minute, I don't just go to heaven? Can I just go to heaven? Or can I just, I'm not sure I believe in heaven and hell, but I mean, can I just go to the next place? This has been long enough. And it's like, no, you kind of have to go through this process. And in some ways, it makes sense.
Wouldn't it be too simple if we just went to the next place, wouldn't it?
Which is really what convinced me that there's probably a possibility that this is real.
It would fly in the face of everything that we know about anything, right? Nothing's easy, I've heard many people even talking about, that light. You see the light, and I don't know what to make of it because, people make a convincing case for it being that heavenly, positive, warm, friendly light. But then there's an equally good case that I've heard been made for it being the birth canal and reincarnation, and back into the cycle you go. Who knows? I suppose one day we'll find out.
I think it's different for each person.
You think so?
I do. I think because I think that as much as we all feel like we can connect on some level, I'm probably still seeing things so differently than you. Like I can connect with you on certain things, but I'm sure your head's in different places and my head's in a different place, and it's all based on our experiences, and we have our guides. I truly believe we have our guides. I truly believe they're there to lead us through things that we agreed to go through, if that's what I always pretend like I didn't agree to any of this, but that's a lie too. And so they're there. They're always there, right? And they're always guiding us, And if we're listening, I think the ride is much better than if you ignore them. It's not advisable you ignore them. They're there for a reason,
And the them that you talk about for me would be my gut feeling and that little voice.
Same thing. Yep.
That little voice. Oh, the amount of times I didn't pay attention to that little voice when I was younger. And every time I used to check myself and think, I remember the last time I ignored this voice, but you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. But I tell you what, as I've got older, I'm not even going to dare say wiser, but you do grow an appreciation for taking note when your body, your mind, whatever it is, something is trying to tell you something. So try and listen to it.
It's a lot better if you do.
Oh yes, indeed.
The price tag is a lot less.
Oh, I look at the path not taken many times. I'm telling you, yes, indeed.
Yeah.
But if we move on, Nano, do I see our favorite Rothschild publication
You do. I had to present. I'm sure everybody in the room might have seen this. I was not just disgusted, but horrified. And so this is April, by the way.
Wow.
Everything's under control. Big government, liberty, and the virus. I guess that would be us there with the big leash on our necks. You think that, Kev, that's supposed to be us?
Looks pretty much like it, eh? And we are being kind of treated like domesticated pets, so let's not dress it up, You let your dog out a couple of times a day to use the toilet. I'm allowed out for 5 or 10 minutes a day for a bit of fresh air. Awfully nice of them,
I get to go to the beach. I'm going to the dog beach.
If we sit and pant and hang our tongue out a little bit long, at the police, they'll say, okay, Kev, just pat you on the head. You chuck you a stick and you can go and chase her or something. No, how utterly typical of the Rothschilds to put it right in your face, Dang, dude.
I know. Everything's under control. Somebody else brought this up in another show, and it's like that was a coded meaning from, the Rothschilds to the powers that shouldn't be. And I'm thinking, I don't know, the dummy people with the crap on their neck, I think we get the message too. You might be surprised that everything's not under control, Jack, but you just keep thinking that. You go right on thinking that. I don't think anybody has control of this thing.
No.
I think this thing, it's, yeah, I think that you got people pulling strings, but
Oh, yeah.
I think this has got a momentum of its own too. You pull a stunt like this.
I look at the way the host country, the Chinese.
Yeah.
I look at the way they reacted,
Oh, I
and
know.
some people say over the top, the welding up of things. But if we just look at the level of reaction, they
Yeah.
knew that this was something that they really didn't know how to handle, you know.
No.
And they probably very well knew that, but that's for another show altogether, you know. How
Well,
they
I
would know
think that they've had to show a lot of their cards in this game. It was a risk for them, and they may get some big dividends out of it. I don't know, but I again, we're awake real time, and we don't know the impact on that.
Do you watch that Serpent ZA?
No.
Serpent Za. He's one of the Chinese. Well, he's one of the people. I think he's from Holland, but
Okay.
he lived in China, and he's got, I think it's a Chinese wife, I believe. But I watched a video from him today, and he was talking about what's going on in China now, and it's shocking. They've got signs up telling foreigners that they're not allowed in, be it cafes or shops. They were talking about a foreigner who is married to a Chinese woman. They've got a half Chinese son, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Fell down, had an accident, took him to the clinic, the dental clinic where you get the operation and thing to fix the teeth. But oh no, not the husband. You're not coming in. Oh, why can't I come in? You're foreign. You could be carrying the virus.
And they're not being.
Now think about that, right? Because if he was carrying it,
That's hilarious.
they've just let two people into the hospital who's living with him. So I mean, this is the brainwashing that's going on from the government on the people, where they're convinced it was something to do with us that started all of this, you know?
Well, I have to laugh because I guess they're not worried about hurting the foreigner guy's feelings like we are.
No. Oh no, political correctness ain't a thing over there. No. Only Western countries are silly enough to fall into that.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Serpent ZA, that's the name of the YouTuber.
Okay.
I watch him and Lao Y. There are two people that have been lived in China a long time, got experience there, and it's like boots on the ground, Nano. They know more about the culture and the way the country works than people like you or I just looking in, learning about it, like fresh off the bat. And it's been very interesting to watch. And yeah, I was quite shocked by that today. Totally shocked.
Are they noticing that some of the people in China are not happy, that they're very disgusted with the government, the way they've handled this?
Well, they were talking more about the videos that are going around of foreigners getting beaten up by Chinese people. There's even a bunch of African migrants, and they've been kicked out of their flats, and there's maybe 20 or 30 of them, and they're getting ushered down the street by police. They've got a day to leave the country, you know, and they've got like cartoons. Gosh. Yeah, they've got like cartoons that, put it this way, it wouldn't have been amiss at the time of World War II and the kind of propaganda that was used against a certain group of people then, you know.
Yes.
It's pretty grim indeed. And I'm going to get the link to that, because I think it's important people see that and don't just take my word for it. Again, it's this YouTuber, and you can check out his channel. He's got a track record. He's been covering this from the start as well. Give me 2 seconds, Nano. I think it's worth people, you know, get the link if they want to see this or not.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Because were you guys talking about that last night? It's like, again, I listened to so many people.
It was a rebro on TFR, but we done a quick show, myself and Joe.
Right.
So I don't know what freaky was on TFR, but here's this actual video here for him. Oh, hang on, I didn't mean to play it. I'll bring it up here. PowerPoint. Chrome. Yep, the ad. Put it there. Hear the first second of this, you'll hear what I'm on about.
Under control.
Okay.
Are you looking to China for guidance on how to deal with this pandemic? Are you comforted by stories of China giving medical supplies and donations to your country or others? Let's remove that wool from your eyes and take a close, intelligent look at this situation. While China has successfully convinced you that it's leading the fight against the pandemic, which of course spread due to the Chinese government's cover-ups and incompetence, they have simultaneously convinced the people of China to blame this pandemic on the outside world, which has led to some ridiculously racist and xenophobic incidents against foreigners in China. State-sponsored and state-mandated discrimination against foreigners, regardless of whether or not they have a clean bill of health, are abundant. Let me share with you some stories that have been shared with me personally over the last week.
I'm going to share that in the chat room for people to watch.
Sure.
But very worth the 12, 13 minutes it's on, Nano.
Yeah.
Very interesting, very informative, and yeah. Wow, I tell you, a different world over there, right? And they're back to work now. They're back to work.
Oh, brother.
I know. So what's this one here, though, right? A grim calculus. That's a very
well, I think that
looking,
goes without saying, that one.
Yeah, kind of cold.
The stark choices between life, death, and the economy. That's what it says.
Wow.
Yeah. I personally think they're probably having birthday parties all over the place. They're so happy. This is what they've all wanted, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Probably. And this one, I just, again, I'm just keeping track of their covers for April. As we go through this, I'm fascinated by their covers. I don't care about reading their magazine, but and then this one, The Business of Survival, interesting, right? And then the next calamity. Anyway. Ooh. But let's go to the next one. And here we have my favorite governor. Governor Newsom declares California a nation state. Now, mind you, this is the same guy that talked about martial law. He just sort of slipped it in a speech, even though he's not legally able to declare martial law. That has to come from the president, I believe. But anyway, I'm trying to figure out why he did this. So basically, he's saying, this is based on reading the article. He's saying that Trump is falling short and he's not getting all the things to the states that he should in the time he should. So wonderful Gavin Newsom, who wants to be president. California has signed its own contracts with Asian manufacturers, i.e. China, to provide, I'm guessing, 200 million N95 masks in a month. California is also lending lots of ventilators to New York and a few other states because we don't need them right now. In fact, that is a very good point. I really would, now granted we don't have any tests here, but I would have expected that we would be under quite the onslaught like New York, right? We have a huge population from China. Yep. So
I would have imagined a lot of people would have came in there for Chinese New Year. Yeah.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then this may be the most enduring effect. Newsom is sending a powerful message to both political parties. That last point has to do with increasing open by Republicans to retain power at all costs, as we just saw in Wisconsin, which, by the way, I have not been keeping track of any of the election politics other than the Bernsters out and the Bidensters.
Do you think there's going to be an election?
Here, you want to hear what Joni Patria is saying? She's the psychic, and she's pretty much been right on predicting. I'll tell you two. One is Robert Phoenix, who keeps saying, he goes, is there going to be an election? So he says that. He doesn't predict doesn't say anything more than that, but he goes, if there's going to be a prediction. And then Joni Patria says that we're not going to know who's president. We're going to go through the same thing we did with W. We're not going to know who's the president. And we're not going to know for a while. We won't know after the election, and we won't know for a while. So basically, it sounds to me like Newsom lobbed in one of his hand grenades and aimed it at the president. We're not happy. We have a lot of money. And, you know, I hate to burst the governor's bubble, but not everybody here thinks this guy's a good guy. I mean, I don't. And I do not want to be a nation state. I want to belong to America. And I don't remember voting for this. Thank you very much, Newsom. You're just a governor and a dictator, I guess.
Told you he was a character, that one. Oh,
well,
heck yeah.
he's all mad because in the Constitution, we can only have 2 senators for each state. And he wants more because we have so much money and there's so many people here. Ugh. Anyway, that's, and then you see the homeless. This guy was given $6 million to put the homeless in hotels, right? We had a little chat about that about 3 weeks ago on your show.
Yep.
I'm still seeing lots of homeless people over here where I live. I don't think that in fact, there's just as many over there in Santa Cruz. I don't see where this guy, maybe he hasn't driven down here yet. Maybe Santa Cruz and the Monterey County have not let the good governor know we do have homeless here. And so Gavin just doesn't know because he's busy declaring nation states.
And you know, Nano, away from Gavin for a moment.
Sure.
How is it where you live? I mean, your neighbours around you. I'm hearing a lot of people getting to know their neighbours, maybe some for the first time. Some are getting to know them a lot better. How is it, I mean, away from the politicians, how is it with the real people?
Well, people that I started networking with, you know, looking for a job, I'm kind of trying to stay in touch with them. And for a very short, I mean, considering I've been here a short time, I feel kind of close to them because they're project managers and they do what I do. My neighbors are very, very nice. And, but we're all sort of staying in our places, right? We're doing social engineering, or did I say that right? But distancing, sorry.
I think
so
that
we're
was
distancing.
a Freudian slip, Nanogirl.
Well, it's basically the same thing, isn't it?
There's a lot of social engineering going on right now too.
We're all doing our social engineering experiments. You know, we're, you know, abiding by the letter of the law. Yeah, I have to say, maybe to my detriment in a way, I've sort of spent a lot of time by myself, you know, and I think it's because I don't think any of my neighbors are into the stuff I'm into. Who is? And I kind of really need to hang out with my peeps now. I really do right now. Just right now. I can't. I can only handle everybody not being on the same page for very short of a
people around me here, they seem to think it's lockdown party mode.
Yeah, there you go.
I got the last laugh the other day because it came 5 o'clock in the UK, and that means the wild Texan comes on air. So I opened the windows, turned up the old TV, and got Jonesy blasting for about 10 minutes. Before you knew it, the back was cleared.
I'll tell you what.
That's how to do it. I'm telling you, that man can clear a room. Absolutely. But what's your next slide, Nano?
I think we're going to move on to our silliness now. We're gonna start talking about the fun stuff. Good. Now that we've spent an hour, you know, doing our typical BSing. So basically, what I did is I just did a bunch of research on things I knew, and then also I just started typing in things like changes, trends after COVID, you know, things like that. And people have actually started writing things starting in the end at like the middle of March. And now we're on March 11th, right? So this is kind of based on
April 11th.
I'm sorry, April 11th. Thank you for straightening that out.
The year is flying by.
Yeah, I'm going backwards and forwards in time. Yep. But so basically, I would say the last 2 weeks, people are starting to kind of think about, okay, here's what maybe some things we're going to see. Now, these first 3 slides are based on Bloomberg and, you know, Bluebird, MSNBC, and, you know, all these sort of people that you would expect them to say what they're going to say here. But I thought I would include that, and then we'll go off down a silly road where we think things are going to go. But
nice.
One thing they mentioned was, and there was a whole bunch of stuff, and I only included the stuff that I thought might be interesting. virtual reality, and I haven't really heard anybody talk about this as much, but I could see if we had good virtual reality where people would be very tempted just to tune this whole thing out.
Oh, big time. The show we done
Right.
with Spooky Andy. And
Yeah.
again, we weren't seeing the quality that Spooky Andy was seeing because of Skype and bandwidth issues. But
Yeah.
absolutely, you know, I often hook up with my mum, a few other people, Facebook Messenger, Zoom, you know, to talk and to hang out, and you know, my mum plays Scrabble and things. But
Yeah.
I think how cool it would be, you know, if we could all get together in some virtual location and do the show. Like all of us here now, we could almost look around with our VR on and see each other, all of our avatars there. And I'm quite excited about VR, and I know a lot of people, they absolutely have this knee-jerk reaction to technology. Same with everything. It's moderation, right? I'm not talking about living with the thing on, but I certainly am like you. I can see a lot of advancements being made in this kind of line of thing. We're already seeing a lot of online schooling taking place now. I mean, do we ever need schools to go back to the way they were? These are big things that we need to think about going into the future, Nano, you know?
I agree. I think school is a huge one. I'm actually hearing two sides of the coin. I'm hearing side one is no, we don't want to go back. We like, you know, homeschooling and we're happy. And then there's the other side of the coin. No, we really need that experience of the kids being together and camaraderie and things like that.
I can see both sides. Yeah, I can see both sides.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah,
it's
the
that
socializing.
balance, right? It's that balance.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Obviously telemedicine, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
An opening for stronger family care. Now, again, we'll go to the next slide, number 10. And this is, again, based on Bloomberg's deal. Now, I almost like threw up. So you guys, I am so not for this. Government becomes big pharma. So basically, they were trying to convince us that a big part of the problems we're seeing is because if the government had been running everything, we wouldn't have the shortages. It's like, well, they are running everything. It is why we have the shortages.
Are they not too like merged together already? They're fused. You know, you can't separate pharma and government.
I'm like, are you guys kidding me? No. And their thing is a more efficient, resilient government approach will replace our failed 40-year experiment with market-based incentives to meet essential health needs. Oh, you mean like Bill Gates? Well, yeah, there you go. And then
Uncle
science
Bill.
reigns again. We see the scarf chick up there on the stage with the president. Here comes science. Yeah.
A scientific dictatorship. Where have I heard that before? Oh, I don't know. Every dastardly plan that the New World Order has put out there.
I know. And then if we go to the next one, this was hilarious. These guys, I will hand it to AOC for one thing.
Thank you.
One thing only.
I do miss her emoji in the chat room.
Oh my God, I do not. You miss what, her?
I miss her little emoji that we used to have for the members. It used to bring me much comfort and joy. Seeing her.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. You know the best part about all of this, if there is a good part, if I wrote on column A, column B, what's really, name 3 good things out of this. No OAC, no Ilmar, and no rest of the squad. You don't hear about them right now. Not really. And that's just fine with me. Congress can finally go virtual. Coronavirus is going to force many institutions to go virtual. This is a great time for the Congress people, I was thinking, to disappear, to return to their districts. Yay! And start the process.
Joe Biden.
Virtual legislating.
Joe Biden's hoping this happens before the debates, isn't he?
Oh, you bet he
You
is.
better believe it. A virtual Joe that doesn't have that forgetful streak,
Tucker
you know?
Carlson, who's made a comment last week that he didn't think Joe Biden would be able to find his car in a parking lot.
I don't. I'm not going to make fun of him. I'm not going to make fun of him, but realistically, do we want somebody like that with their finger on the nuclear weapons? You know.
Well, he didn't say it to be a jerk. He said it because he's trying to get people to stop saying to pretend like the emperor has no clothes. The emperor is not feeling well. He needs to retire.
You know, I mean, it's broken. It's farcical.
Well, and we'll go there. Yeah. And then big government makes a comeback. I don't remember big government ever disappearing, and we are. Anyway, like I said, if this is all you read, you just have to pull your hair out.
Yeah.
So we will go to the next slide, and this is where we start to focus on.
This is more nano. This is more nano-esque now. Here we go.
Over here.
Oh, nice.
I know. When the appeal of the suburb wanes, we could be heading towards a world in which existing city centers and far-flung new villages rise in prominence while traditional computer belts fade away. So basically what they're saying here is that now this is for you, Kev. When you live in a smart city, you're living in the perfect place during a coronavirus outbreak.
Oh, don't I feel lucky right now? You see, that competition that I never knew we entered, we won it. You know what? Double luck. Eh? Oh, no wonder I can sleep well at night, Nano Girl.
They said it right there. See that? And see that thing there? That's like a police thingy, and but you're the smart city. It's got the Internet of Things. It's bopping up and down the street.
Do you think, I'm not sure. I've not looked ahead, but the drones feature in your presentation, Nano?
Oh, do drones feature?
Yeah. I think we're going to see a lot more drones in the skies. I think inevitably.
We're going to see a lot of drones. Oh yeah.
Multi-purpose as well. You know, deliveries. Police,
yes,
multi-purpose.
Police, reminding you to get your butt back in your house.
Yep.
Put that mask on.
Yep.
Don't make me tell you twice.
Socially distance. Yep.
You're not socially distancing.
As they say in Florida, remember to keep an alligator's distance between you.
Alligators.
Yeah, they literally do. They've got like a sign with an alligator between two people.
I am still mystified why those things are allowed to walk around Florida. I often get into.
You know why? Because it's Florida. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Popeye lives there. It's just Florida. That's all you can say.
You know, that's really sadly true.
Yeah. So, where's this one? Is this in China?
This is in China. So we're going to be bouncing back and forth a little bit to China because, I mean, they are kind of the leaders of the coronavirus. So we're going to go off to the next one here. So I did a little list here of how the coronavirus might affect work. I've been listening to people who talk about job searching because I haven't got the brains to go back to my job searching, and I keep beating myself up every day and going, come on, you should get back and it's, you know, the trends of it. But I keep thinking, how is that going to change? You know, how is job searching going to change if you've lost your job, or is it going to change? I think we're going to see a lot more remote. And what's ironic about this is I had a conversation with some colleagues today, and I know that I had said to them a month ago, before all this stuff happened, why aren't we doing more remote commuting? And they're all like, you know, because we all live so far away from our jobs. And what this whole thing has given an opportunity for the companies to see that, yeah, the people are there. The companies remote workers will save U.S. employers $30 billion a day during this crisis, Kev, by working remotely. That's how powerful this has been.
Wow.
And they just would never give anybody a shot, you know, like that last job that I didn't get to have at Cisco because I didn't want to travel an hour and a half each way every day. And they didn't want a person to be remote, which is ironic because
now everyone's remote.
Everyone's remote. Yep.
Yeah, I've seen one of the higher-ups from Cisco talking about that. He was talking, I think it was over 10,000 employees that were actually remotely kind of working from home now.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. Amazing.
So Cisco's lucky. Nothing's going to stop. Everything will keep moving. A lot of their people are remote anyway, but they didn't let contractors, and they have a lot of contractors there. But typically, contractors didn't get to work remotely. We had to go in every day. So So some of the things that they said that they thought might change, I don't know. That employers will expand support and provide, physical, mental, emotional well-being for wellness centers.
Safe spaces, there'll be a
I
safe
know. I
space.
thought of that.
Yeah.
I did think of safe spaces.
Yeah.
Leadership will improve. One thing they did bring up an interesting point that you're going to be challenged as a leader, like because you're going to have to figure out how to pull your team in from the remote locations versus you see them at their desk every day.
Yep.
And maybe you don't talk to them every day, how you interview. One of the lady recruiters did say that, now I'm used to it because I've been a contractor for the last couple of years, so I'm used to doing all my interviewing online anyway. I do most of it on either on WebEx or something else, and that's how I do most of my interviewing. And it's not so much the phone anymore, so there's going to be more of that. But they feel like they're going to have much more empathy for the worker because they've also had to remote themselves, be remote as well. So just some interesting points. I just thought I'd include it in case people who are listening are dealing with this right now, kind of some interesting points. And we can go to the next slide. Now we're going to start my favorite subject of all, robots.
Hey.
Number 15. Check out the chicks in the yellow. Those are, I called them the bandit nurses. That's Thailand's idea of cute robots.
And I was watching a thing today. I'm not sure if it was China or Thailand, but it was a baseball game. And they had a robot crowd. They had robots playing the drums. They had robots watching. And the ironic thing was, after they got all of this set up, the weather, the heavens opened up. It was like a monsoon and the game didn't get played. But I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I did. A bunch of robots playing the drums. It was brilliant. It really was. Weird to see.
Yeah.
But it was actually very kind of profound when you think about it.
That is profound.
It is, because of the times that we're living in.
I know.
And the world we're moving into.
What if you got to rent one of those robots and they represented you, and then you got to see the game?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That would be pretty cool.
So the lady on the top, like the older woman, that's actually telemedicine, right? The telepresence. So the doctor or the nurses can check on her at her bedside, or she certainly have telemedicine at her house. And then the one on the bottom, which is really interesting, and I thought it was interesting because there's no face. One of the things you're going to notice in all of these robots, they either have names, and they have faces, which I figured that they would do that for the companion robots, but even for the nurses and all the other things. And I know we haven't talked about it for a while, but when you kind of put all this together, it's like, wow, everything has a face, everything has a name.
But yeah, for me, especially the nurses, it makes perfect sense because us humans were able to relate to something more when we anthropomorphize it. That's my word of the day. But when we give it that human face, we can relate to it better. It's just part of our brain recognizing things again. We almost subconsciously let a little bit of our guard down because we recognize a little bit of ourselves in what we're seeing. I know. But I watched another robot for a hospital, Nano. And this was no face on this one, but this was amazing. It was like a big high stand, maybe 6 foot tall. Yeah. And it had all different spectrums of UV light coming off each side of it. And it went in and out of the beds. It went up to all the surfaces, killing everything, all viruses in the room, killing them, gone. No human needed in there, just goes about its thing. Like the Hoover kind of does itself, the robot Hoover. This big thing just goes around and 10 minutes, boom, totally sterile. Amazing.
Wow, that is pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as I said, we haven't talked about this for a while, so things have really improved a lot. Something like that. That wasn't there 2 years ago. And I think that's when we talked about this stuff.
Yeah, that nurse there, that's pretty... You think how far we've moved along, Nano. You think
We
about
have come very far in 2 years.
yeah.
If you go to the next slide, there's Yumi. It's a robot nurse built to make the rounds. Little Yumi.
Wow.
See, machines don't need sleep or food, don't have prejudice, and won't grunt about why they need to complete the same monotonous task for the 1,000th time.
This is this is like a sci-fi show.
I know.
Yeah.
I had such fun putting it together. If you go to number 17, now this is again from China. The other thing is you've got these robots that'll help people. Like you'll carry your purse. You have receptionist robots, robots that help you get out of bed. Of course, they're looking at companion robots. A lot of that kind of stuff. If you go to the next one, robot helpers, Moxie. This is Moxie. She has a long arm. See, Moxie has a big arm, so she can get all kinds of good stuff done. She's a robot helper. See her little heart eyes, of course. And then you go to the next one. If you go to number 19, now this is kind of interesting.
Can't believe that dude's sitting there looking so happy taking that selfie. Look at him. He's delighted with himself, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
He's like
Maybe
the cat
he's the
that stole the
developer.
cream. I bet he is. That's exactly why he's sitting
Doesn't
there
he look like
laughing.
an engineer? He does to me.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
doesn't look like a
He-
patient or
He
anything.
looks like somebody you'd find sleeping on Elon
Under the
Musk's
desk.
kind of factory floor. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, we were thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. I've come to work a couple times, and there we go.
Now, cool. Listen, I like this because I looked at this when it was in Japan, and you find the aging population there, not enough people to look after them, etc. And they talk
Yes.
about the whole companion robots.
Mm-hmm.
People have comfort pets, and who am I to judge anyone if this does bring companionship to somebody? I don't think we should be quick to judge. And I imagine, and I don't know why. Maybe it's films like Terminator and everything else. We're usually told the apocalyptic side of the robots. But this is something good, in my opinion, Nano.
I think it's
helping
really
people.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
My subscriber
Absolutely.
count will be going down as we speak. Oh no, he's into the robots. He's into Musk. Oh no, that baker. What's he done? He's drinking the Kool-Aid. No, I'm just being honest. And I mean, this is where we are. We're living in the future now. We have to get with the times, right? And this should be a thing.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree with you. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nope,
I don't like his
I'm there.
blue hairdo. I think we could get him a wig, maybe. I don't know if I
think
like
we
the blue.
could.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very childlike, that one, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Very.
Absolutely.
So where is this, Nano? Is this happening, like, in America?
This is kind of happening everywhere.
Is that-
Like, I think a lot in China, a lot in Japan, because, they're the ones that have really put the time into their seniors having something they can watch, or that they can have be with them. Like you said, they're senior citizens.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna paste something in here. We're not gonna play it right away, but I do want to play one when we come up to it. This is Buddy the companion, so we'll be coming up to it in a minute. But what they're saying is they can use the robots to help people in the hospital, but also be companions. So that's basically kind of what this one is. And of course, there's my Pepper over there on the right. Here's my Pepper.
You love Pepper, don't you?
I do love
You do.
Pepper. Yep. All right, let's go. We'll go to the next one. And then again, a lot of telepresence. And then see the upper right? This is all of the companions. All of these robots on the top right are
look at that.
companion robots.
Look at that baldy little, it looks like a crash test dummy robot. That one scares me.
I know.
If that one was sitting looking at me in the corner of the room, I might be tempted to give it the Anju. I might. Johnny Whistles would have the gun out by now, you know that, right?
He would have gotten the gun out by now.
Absolutely. Gone.
And then if you go to the next one, the receptionist in the hospital. Now, again, we're seeing receptionists in hotels. We're seeing receptionists, probably seeing this kind of stuff in bars, any kind of travel stuff. I don't know if they have them aboard ship or anything like that. But yeah, they're seeing all kinds of stuff. And that's not a Pepper. But I know that the last I heard, there were 35 Peppers at the Smithsonian Institute in Washington, D.C., which is pretty impressive.
I take it they're doing tours then? They're like leading the tours or something?
No, Pepper's not super sophisticated from what I could tell visiting her at Microsoft. Or maybe Bill made her be quiet. That sounds like Bill. But you press a screen and she's programmed just to say a few things. Now, I don't know if she can do more, but that's what she's programmed to do at the Microsoft store, because I go in there all the time and talk to her if she's there. I just love her. That's stupid. Who cares? Anyway, then if you go to the next slide, number 22, we've got, I hadn't heard these acronyms, HSR, which is Human Support Robot, and Delivery Support Robot. So the one on the right, that kind of looks, it's like they'll deliver popcorn or drinks or whatever. And then the one on the left, or the one on top, is just like that other robot that was holding the purse from China.
Got you.
Yeah. So it's kind of a helper.
Ooh,
And then this one, if you go to 23,
what is this thing?
this is a bear.
Oh,
And the bear can lift you and carry you, yeah.
Ooh,
And there's, I know.
No.
I know. And look at the friendly little bear face.
Friendly little bear face. I don't know.
I know. It's pretty hilarious. I'm telling you. Kev's gonna love this. I know. And then you go to the next one again. Then this is this robot is located in the third People's Hospital of Shenzhen, the only designated hospital for treating COVID-19 in Shenzhen, and all robots are playing a key role. Atris, Ambot, and Cruiser are giving a helping hand to monitor body temperature, detect people without masks, spray disinfectants, and provide medical inquiries.
Now, Nano, last year,
Yes.
right? If somebody had said to you, start of 2020, we're going to be living in a world where there's robots going around taking your temperature, spraying disinfectant, and providing medical inquiry, you'd have gone, you're mad. You're absolutely bonkers. Yeah, here we are. Here we are.
I know. Here we are. Here we are.
What a change event, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
Yep, absolutely. So let's go to this next one. Now, this is where we're getting to the companion robots, the social robots. This is not my quote, but COVID-19 pandemic proves the need for social robots, robot avatars, and more, says experts. Okay, now, if you can queue up that YouTube link I sent you, this is about Buddy, the robot, and you and I played something about Buddy 2 years ago.
Wow.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Right, here we go.
And Buddy is the emotional robot.
I'll play a little bit of this. I won't play all of it.
No, just how about a couple of minutes? Just do a couple of minutes. Yeah, that's perfect.
Here we go.
Okay.
If there's one thing that popular culture has gotten right, it's that pretty soon most of us will have relationships with robots. In fact, you probably already have some basic relationships with machines. When I say relationships, you might think of romantic relationships, but the hype around sex robots is just that, hype. That's not gonna be a thing for a while. And anyway, most relationships aren't sexy, but they're still important. And robots may very well be a part of the most important relationships in your life. Welcome to Uprising. Fear not, robots are already here.
Hey, buddy. The first met with Buddy, the interaction was completely different. There was that emotional things, the cute eyes, and the fact that touching him and directly you have a reaction and a connection.
He's got a really unfortunate accent to be talking about anything that finishes with action. I'm just saying. It's merely an
now
observation.
that's funny coming from you.
It's
if he's had it.
merely an observation, Nano.
As you probably noticed, I'm not seeing it, I'm seeing him. Okay, buddy, suis-moi. That surprised me a lot.
Okay, buddy. Okay, buddy.
Hey,
Nano
buddy.
girl, hey Nano girl, I like the hey buddy. I like this one. Yes. Mon ami, buddy. Yep,
Okay,
indeedy.
so the last time we saw Buddy, it was a complete and total commercial flop that you and I laughed at it. We didn't think it would get that far. But the Buddy, he has the happy face, he has the sad face, he has the mad face, and he has many faces of the Buddy because he is the emotional. He's the emotional robot.
Dang, what now? That's a French accent that dude's got. That was class. Absolute class.
Awesome, wasn't it? And I thought, well, this will be perfect. He's even got he's even got an accent, unlike Kev or me.
Look at the eyes on that. I mean, look at that. How can you not fall in love with that little thing? Look.
That's the point. And so they are programming this character to have emotions. This is an emotional support robot.
You know, as somebody
it's
that
come a long way.
As somebody that did live alone at one time, would I have found something less? I probably would have found something less kind of cool. Yeah, why not? Yeah, I like these. Yeah, yep. No, I'm not feeling threatened. Buddy does not feel threatening to me. Nano girl. Oh. Anyway, moving on.
Okay, we're moving on. All right.
On. Too much fun, you see.
I know.
So
We should have
here?
too much fun.
Oh, this is a little baby robot. Mm-hmm.
That's a baby robot. So basically, again, they're talking about, senior citizens and people being lonely, so they can actually have one of these characters. Pepper, I think Pepper would not be good for an older person necessarily. Pepper would be better for a younger person. Pepper doesn't have emotions, doesn't emote like the Buddy.
Yeah.
I think they should probably have the Buddy or the dog, the one with the dog. Like if we go to the next one, let's go to Robot Companions 28. So these are the top 12 that they've got out there right now. And so you have Pepper and Sam, the robot concierge. Lynx is an avatar. And you can actually use it to, if you're on the road, you can call your family or you can do a bunch of stuff with it. And then you have Buddy, and then Professor Einstein, who's made by the same person who did the creepy robot. That's the
Sophia.
Yeah. With the flubber face. Is it flubber or bubber or anyway? We are going to talk about it in a second. But anyway, yeah, so these are the top ones, like therapeutic robot, programmable robots for kids, run smart homes, and like Alexa, like Jibo, and then RoboBear. Now, RoboBear is the one you saw in the hospital.
Yeah,
That's the hospital giant gentle bear.
With nice little round ears. Yeah.
Yes.
Very unthreatening.
Exactly. And then Avi, which is an avatar telepresence robot for kids out of school. Yep, and that's the one, the girl in the picture, that's Avi. Yep.
That's cool.
Okay, we go to the next one. So there's Sam, the concierge, who delivers stuff to your door. And then this is Lynx, avatar mode. The doll-sized robot is able to see, hear, and speak for you, or wave hi, or dance or hug.
I can see that becoming a big thing.
Yes.
Robot avatars,
The last one in this set of slides, we got another whole set, is Professor Einstein. What's the name? Frubber. Frubber. Their faces are made with frubber. Yeah. And that's why they have that weird look.
Yeah, I've looked at them, the Hanson Robotics. Is it?
Yeah.
Philip K. Dick.
Yes.
Again, it's got that rubbery kind of face going on. It's quite disturbing. There's something a bit disturbing about it.
And I think it's because they try to make it look like a human being.
But just isn't quite that there. No. There's something a bit,
I know.
Absolutely.
Well, let's go to the next set of slides.
Okay, now then, hang on. Wait till I find
And we got another picture from our good friends at The Economist.
The next
they just can't stop themselves from creating creepy pictures.
I think it's loading up now, Nanogirl.
Okay, awesome.
There we go. There we go.
There you
We're
go.
in.
And see that picture? Doesn't that look like The Economist?
Very. That would have
And
been a
this
more
is-
interesting cover than the one we got this year.
I
Wouldn't
know.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So basically, they're calling the agriculture robots agribots. Of course, they call it that.
Yeah.
And they're on the rise. So if we go to this first one, and now again, as I said, everything has a name. Everything has now this one. These guys don't have faces. Tom. So this is all from the same company. So using AI, agricultural robots are on the rise. Agribots. Tom is curious. Tom is crop monitoring and mapping. That's what Tom does. This particular robot. He's a scanning robot that lives on the farm, covering 20 hectares a day. Soon he will be fully autonomous, living in his own kennel, equipped with battery charging and a local AI algorithm.
You see, this is where it's got the potential for going wrong, right? When a couple of those Atlas get out of Boston Dynamics and they start networking with a couple of Toms.
And the next one is Tom, Dick, and the next one is Dick. Tom and Dick. Yep. Dick is ruthless.
I bet he is.
Autonomous non-chemical weeding. World's first non-chemical robot weeding, robotic weeding for arable crops. Zaps weeds. Zero chemicals.
That looks like something out of Doctor Who, and not a good thing.
None of these look good. Well, of
No.
course, it's affiliated with, I mean, you start out with the cover from our good friends, The Economist, and the third one is Wilma is the boss.
Oh, might have guessed.
She's weed recognition, per plan intelligence, integration with farm management information systems.
I like it. Weed recognition. Target engaged.
You know, only The Economist could make a war talk out of farming.
Weed recognition system.
Recognition, per plan intelligence, and integration with the farm management information system.
Does it talk to Tom and Dick on its way to work, right?
But Wilma's the boss, Kev.
Tom, Dick, and Wilma, and it had to be Wilma the boss, eh?
It should have been Tom, Dick, and Harriet. That would have been better. Tom, Dick, and Harriet. All right, we're moving on here. Okay, the next one. Now, and these are just some pictures of other robotics going into the agriculture sector. I'm sure people have seen these, right? These are names of some of the top
world
ones.
ain't ever going back to the way it was, Nanogirl.
No, it's not.
No.
That's over now. That's a done thing, right? We're going to move forward. And you know, if we are able to go back to some of the farming things, but we have some help, the farmers have some help. I mean, I hate to see everything go to big pharma, but I would love to see the farmers have some help. You know, that kind of thing. That would be a good thing, right?
No, very good point. Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Okay, so the next one we got here. Of course, this is spraying your fields, and then there's a list of what the robots are doing and the drones are doing. Of course, we're using drones. This is a drone, right?
And of course, we had the Sony. They've got an advert out now about their drones. Spooky Andy was showing me that you know, planting season has come up. Why not take advantage of our drone technology to help you plant all these hectares? Sony, I mean, for starters, I had no idea Sony were doing drones, but this is the new thing now. And of course, that was one of the reasons why lights were being seen over Colorado. Not saying it accounts for all of them, but there was a test going on at that time. Andy knew the person involved, so this is exciting again, I think, you know. Yeah, definitely. That's kind of cool use of technology, Nano.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. Okay, let's go to the next one. Then we talk about the drone technology, right? So this is just some statistics. The drone market will grow to 43 billion USD by 2024. I mean, we're only talking 4 years. Energy is the largest industry, but transport the fastest growing. US and China dominate the drone market, but Asia will soon pull ahead. India will be the fastest growing drone market, and drone sales will triple from 2018 to 2024.
It's going to get busy. the kind of lower altitude up there. Sure is.
I know. And then we talk about, like, if you go to 8, 9, and 10, then the top 5 things that drones are helping us with this coronavirus. Obviously, virus detection drones. To curb the speed of coronavirus, the University of South Australia has teamed up with Dragonfly to develop pandemic drones, which will use temperature sensors and computer vision to identify symptoms of infectious respiratory diseases. Doesn't that sound pretty exciting to us? No. Then we got the sprayer drones, which we've seen. The next one, food delivery by drones, right? Got that one going. Surveillance drones, I think we know a lot about that. And number 5, emergency medical delivery by drones.
Yeah, that's gonna be
And
a
you
big
know,
thing.
I mean, drones, I mean, and to give drones their due, I mean, they're certainly one of the number one things out there, technology out there to help the firefighters now, right? Delivering packages, delivering hoses. If you know,
Something like this
the
as well. I mean,
next thing they want to do is being able to carry people out, right?
Yeah.
To get in there, to get this drone to get in there,
Yeah.
get in, like if it's smoky and humans can't get in there, to lift somebody out. That would be amazing, right?
You think about something like this, so organs, I mean, you don't have to worry about any of the traffic, you know, straight A to B, boom.
Right. No,
Great
exactly.
use again, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we'll go to number 11, of course, big role in monitoring large areas of crops. And like I said, firefighting.
The size they're getting nano, look at that. Awesome.
I know. Can you believe that? I know. I tried to find the scariest pictures I could find. And if you look through some of this, and then this next one, Spanish police are using drones to remind people to stay at home.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's not just the people in China.
We had them over here in the Lake District last weekend. I wouldn't be surprised if they've been deployed again this week with Easter weekend. But yeah, the police were using drone technology. They were pulled up in the media. Actually, a lot of people were saying, come on, you know, get a grip. And rightly so, but
yeah,
I don't think the drones will be going away anytime soon.
No,
No.
I think all this stuff's here to stay. I mean, if you look at some of the other stuff we're going to be talking about too, and we go to the next one, volunteer drone teams organized for COVID-19 disinfection. I mean, let me tell you something. All these pictures, these are all for Corona-19 or coronavirus.
Yeah.
These are all recent pictures. So these things have they've been there. They've been developing them. It's like, got a bing, bada boom. So let's go to 14. And the next big thing with robots, of course, is supply chain. And I think we're seeing that now. If we go to number 15, look at all of these machines helping people package and pack out, like Amazon, some of these other.
That looks like the Kindred one, the big arm.
Yes.
Looks very like it, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Big shout out to Jordy. Not that you'll be listening, but you never know.
Well, yeah. He might.
You just never know.
You never know.
No,
and then
know.
I brought this up last time. The grocery stores turned to robots during coronavirus, right, to keep up with the supply chain. Now, let's go to 17. Again, I found this really interesting. This is Tally. Tally is they, them keep tabs of inventory. And look at, and by the way, those
Kids
eyes.
love these things.
Do you see the eyes with the kids, between the kids? If you go to the site, the eyes blink. The eyes keep blinking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Kids love these things. They love Nightscope. They love Pepper. I mean, you can't keep kids away from them. No. It's amazing.
It's actually really, really interesting to watch kids around robots.
Yeah.
I think there's almost they're very natural with them. Very natural with them.
They are. It's like they were born to it.
Yeah, not older, but I mean, most people, I think, you know, you come face to face with an Atlas, there'd be a bit of apprehension there. You know, you'd be looking at that thing, but a kid would be running up, investigating it, pulling at it, looking at it, speaking to it.
Oh my God, they couldn't keep their hands off of Pepper when I was at the shopping center that day, or Nightscope, which we'll be talking about later. But yeah, and Pepper's hands are very strong. Like those robotic hands, those guys, the guys that develop them, those things are made to last. It's because the kids pull on them.
Yeah.
You know. But here it says always polite. Tally is always polite, Kev. So they're
Indeed.
always. I mean, again, and it's not something I know you and I didn't notice before. But when you're putting something together, you think, wow, over and over again, I see this sort of humanizing it a little bit, making it a little bit more friendly kind of thing, you know?
Yep.
And then we'll go to the next one. And we talked about this last time. We're not going to.
I think that comes from the people making these robots look at what the public are saying, Nano. And I think they would have seen a lot of the kind of the caution and some of the worries people had. And I think they are probably trying to allay people's fears, you know?
Well, we're going to accept them more readily if we can relate to them. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Remember that lady, the time I went to the robot shrink? Remember the robot sociologist, psychiatrist person? I can't remember what she called herself.
Oh, well, you got to be careful. There's a lot of people running around calling themselves psychiatrists and MDs these days, but that's another show altogether.
All right, sociologist, whatever.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, but yeah, she said pretty much the same thing. You know, you have to get it so that people can relate to it and touch it and feel it. Again, this was a graduation.
It's like a car with the two headlights, you know.
Yes.
And we give it a name.
Yeah,
we put human qualities onto it.
We do.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. I've never felt that a car was a boy or a girl.
No, me either. By the way, I never was one of these boy racer kind of engine head types.
No.
No.
I wish I were. It might have been interesting, but I'm not. So, no. Okay, and I just included this because again, we're talking about telepresence. And this was known as the avatar robots.
This is the kids thing you were telling me about, right?
Exactly. The kids couldn't come to the graduation, so they dressed up these avatars, and each of the people graduating got to have an avatar. They put caps and gowns on them. If you go to the number 19, then
that's absolutely fantastic.
It is, and the digital tablets had the kids' faces, and they get to work them remotely from their house.
I mean, you know, that is
it's clever.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. You know, don't miss out altogether. What a novel way. Yeah, a great way to kind of work around it. I like that. I do.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
don't know if that would work for the prom or anything like that. You know, getting all that kind of that last dance, getting intimate. You know, sitting at home with your iPad. I don't know if it works quite as well.
That's such a dark road we're about to embark on, Kev. We're going to go to number 20.
Now you see this thing here, and I tell you, I seen a funny video the other day.
Yeah.
You've always got to have that kind of a sense of humor about you. And there was somebody down in England, Nano. They're obviously some Doctor Who fan, an aficionado. And they'd actually got a Dalek out into the street, and the Dalek was going up the street telling people, stay in your home. The Daleks are here, stay in your home. But this thing here, that reminds me of a Dalek.
This one?
Yeah, I'm not liking this thing here. No.
Well, this one doesn't have a face. This is in China. This is a security guard patrol. In fact, I don't think they do either. If you look at the woman in the pink jacket, look at her face.
It's very Hal, isn't it? Very
It's like she doesn't like that.
No.
And the kid seems okay, but then again, I just think these kids are hardwired to just be okay with it.
I think so. I think it's
they're used to it. Every generation, the younger generation comes in, and they're just so used to everything because that's all they know.
Same way that people my age were able to get into the gaming, the consoles,
and get the recorder to work for your mom and dad.
Yeah, things like that.
Your mom and dad could never do it. Yeah, you guys would go click, click.
Different courses for different horses. You know, it's different times now. Yeah,
I know. So let's go to one of my favorites over here, Nightscope. Good old Nightscope.
I like how they're pimping them out now. That's kind of cool.
Yep. Yeah, they're pimping them pretty good, aren't they? Yeah. Yep. There's Old Valley Fair, which is probably closed right this second.
They're quite big over here as well, as far as I know.
Are they?
Yeah, I think they're doing patrolling and delivering mail in office blocks. I've seen them doing a couple of things. Yeah, quite popular.
Well, I just want so take a look at these pictures and then take a look at the next one. Check this
look
out.
at that. Oh, this is very.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, go to the next one. The K7 multi-terrain ASR.
Hang on. So hang on. Whoa, wait a minute. This thing's like a security robot on wheels.
Yes. Do you want me to send you the little commercial?
Yeah, I need to see this in action. Big time.
Okay, hold on just a second. Oops.
Mannerus in the chat room. Yes, Dave Baker and Kev Baker. Take your pick. I am one of the two. I'm wanting to see this bad boy. I'm liking the look of this.
Okay,
thing.
now light that one up. K7 Night Scope. It's only like 2 minutes, and it reminds me of the Batmobile. You should see this thing. In fact, go to the last picture.
Yeah.
Multi-terrain autonomous security
3
robot,
seconds.
the ASR.
There we go.
Airports, prisons, farms, very large corporate campuses, federal government facilities, solar farms, power utility substations.
A prison. Imagine that. Going
I
around a
know.
prison. What the?
You should see what this thing can do. So when you're ready to play you got it? Did you get the link I sent you?
I've not got the YouTube video.
Oh, I sent
I've
it
got
to you.
the last YouTube video you sent me, the links there.
Okay, now no, it's not coming through.
That's the website.
Oh, never mind. What did oh, wait. Okay,
it's down-
sorry.
it's
I
at the
got it.
bo-
I
it's
got
at-
it. I got
It's
it.
at the bottom there. It is there. Is that it there?
I got it. No, never mind. It's this one. Sorry.
Okay.
I have two. I meant this one.
No.
Yeah, you got to
problem,
see
Nano.
this. You absolutely got it. It's only like 2 minutes. It's amazing.
Does it come with guns on it? Not yet.
Not yet.
Wow.
Listen to that music. Watch what these wheels can do. Batman. Is that bad or what?
That's pretty cool.
It is.
Where can I just sit on the top of it? I want to ride that thing.
I know.
That'd be awesome.
It's actually not that big.
Yeah, I don't want to play too much more of it just in
Yeah,
case. But
But it actually drives
holy
sideways.
shimoly.
It goes frontwards, sideways. It's not telling anybody how fast it goes. But I mean, you talk about. I mean, to me, that looks like the Batmobile, for
Very.
lack of a better or RoboCop or something like that. It's really amazing. Yeah.
Oh, you can just see that coming down the street soon, folks.
Oh,
see it
yes, you
coming down.
can.
And it'll say
Okay, I got one more YouTube I want to send you because and go to slide 26. Okay. Let me send this one to you. Okay. Okay, this is the GuardBot, a surveillance robot that is able to maneuver on any terrain, even having the ability to swim. The device comes in a variety of sizes, ranging from small to as small as 5 inches to a model of 7 feet in diameter.
I don't fancy taking one of these things on. I'm looking at that's an ominous looking bad boy, that thing.
I know.
Isn't it?
If you can even play like 20 seconds of the YouTube, it's really interesting.
2 seconds, I'll pull it up. Yeah.
Okay, awesome, cool. And we're almost through all our slides.
Hey.
I know.
Oh, hang on.
Okay.
Yeah, you see these pesky channels that have got ads on them.
Pesky ads.
Monetized
Pesky.
channels. When I was a lad, I remember those days.
It comes with 2 surveillance
that I'm
cameras,
Here we go.
microphones, GPS. Check this out. Goes under your truck, your car. Look at that.
I see.
Can you imagine having that thing follow you? goes in the water.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Again, I don't fancy chasing me. I
No.
don't fancy that scenario.
I had never seen anything like that. I'm like,
No.
what the heck is this?
I mean, the things people think of are absolutely amazing. It
They are.
truly is.
I know.
You know, you can
Yeah.
lock us in our homes, but you can't take away our imagination and our
You can't.
creativity. No, you cannot, Nano.
Well, that
You
thing looks like it's going to blow up when it hits you, doesn't it?
It does. I must admit, when I looked at it in these images to start with, I was
Yeah.
visualizing something that was maybe 8 foot tall, like coming down the street, like just going over the top of cars and crushing things. and
Yeah.
maybe that shouldn't put that idea out there into the Matrix, you know. I'm
Maybe
careful
not,
it might come
yeah.
back. But what's this here?
Okay, so
now we're
this-
talking.
Military. And actually, I think the people that made the military robot here that's carrying the soldier, I don't know if they did. I thought that they did the same bear one, but I think it's interesting. So you've got a robot that'll carry a wounded soldier,
Yeah.
and then you've got these, interesting to note, please note that for murdering robots, there's no kind face. There's no face. Which I think is interesting. It's certainly notable. It's notable. It's really notable. It's like interesting.
Not
my
by
head goes,
accident either. Not by accident.
Well, why don't they just put an angry face on it? I'm coming to get you.
Yeah, like put the war face on it. Ah, you know. Yeah, I get
Yeah.
you. Yeah, I feel you.
Hey, just come on. That's what you are. You're
Yeah.
a murdering little robot thug.
Oh.
Okay, that's enough of that. I'm going to 28. Okay, so and lastly, on the I have 3 more slides, but this one, of course, is the IoT, Internet of Things trends to watch. And of course, it's the edge computing, 5G, security, ethics. Yeah, right. And let's see, estimates that there will be 41.6 billion connected IoT devices or things generating 79.4 zettabytes of data in 2025. We're talking 5 years. 79.4 zettabytes of data.
I remember, Nano, when we were talking about that thing. Oh, it's called the Internet of Things. It's going to be the
Yes.
Internet of Everything. And
Everything's.
dang,
I know.
we have been doing this a long time. Here we are now.
We've been doing it way too long.
We're getting into
Okay,
zettabytes
let's-
of data. That's how
So-
that's how much data has been produced now. And we were talking about this when they were just setting it up.
Yeah, they were putting them in little T-shirts, and and they were putting them in tags. So the last 2, these were like, oh, that's so cool. Yeah, it is
Oh, now that
kind
looks
of
like an alien. I like that. They've given it the alien look.
I know. Now this is, do you see the girl on the left?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
She's disabled, but she's working one of these robots.
Oh, right. So it's like a robot avatar thing.
It's all of them are controlled by disabled people.
That is phenomenal.
It is absolutely phenomenal. Like they can even do it with just their minds. And you have one waiter, whatever you want, whatever these waiter robots are per each person who is disabled.
That is
Now
amazing.
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was one of those things. And
I
then
quite
this
like
last
I quite
one.
like the big head with the alien eyes. I must admit, I quite like that. I think that's
I
quite
kinda-
quite novel.
Yeah, that's pretty trippy, wasn't it?
Whoa.
I know. Now this one is awesome. These are I know we talked about these kids a long time ago about getting a special arm, like for the people
we
that
done
have.
him on the right. He won a competition, didn't he? That wee guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. So now look at this. They can design their own arm
Wow.
because they've 3D print them for them.
That's pretty amazing.
Mark Hamill has a cute little video on there, something about, remember Luke Skywalker was able to defeat Darth Vader, and he had a special arm. And so your limb difference is your superpower. He says that, and he goes, "May the Force be with you." And I thought, oh, that's awesome.
That is awesome. Very awesome. No, I do like that. I do.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like instead of feeling odd, they get to fit in. They get to
Yeah.
have something cool
So
that
I was
really
gonna say
works
that's
well.
something cool, you know?
That works.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that they can, and then now this will help them. And then when they need one as they grow, they can just go back, right, and have them
I mean, in an
3D print.
ideal world, you know, we wouldn't need prosthetic limbs and things like that, but
Right.
it's fantastic to see the advancements, you know, where we've come in a relatively short time with robotics and things like that too.
Agreed.
And anything that improves somebody's quality of life.
I couldn't agree more.
Exactly. That's like putting our creative, inventive side to good use, you know?
It is.
It
It's
is.
what I think what we humans are really, really good at personally.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's so, yeah, well, we got through our slides.
That's, you can see, this is why I kind of like the weekend KBS extra with Nano. I can just kick back. I can just let her go through the slides. No worrying about the time. I know I'm not going to, you know, waste all of Nano's creative skills. And thank you again for putting that together. It's always good, I think, to have the kind of visual aid when you're talking about these things, the topics we touch on in particular.
Yeah, it helps me. Because before I used to have to write pages and pages of notes, and everything got lost, and there would be 20 pages of notes, and now I don't need notes because I put it together, and then you and I talk about it, and I don't have to have notes anymore. It's so freeing for me. And then if we get lost, we
just carry on.
We just go back to the slide we were on before.
Yep. Keeps us right. But Nano, I'm hoping we'll be able to do a lot more shows with the conditions that we're living in for the foreseeable future. I'm sure
it's keeping me sane, Kev. I can tell you that. Who
are you watching on YouTube to keep up? I mean, let people know who you're watching. Who's your top 3 that you go to right now? And it can be on any topic. It doesn't need to be about that.
Okay.
Yeah, anything.
Well, I love listening to you. I listen to Robert Phoenix. I listen to the Duran. I listen to the UK Column is live. That UK Column, those guys. Yeah. They're an alternative team. I like them a lot. I listen to Nigel.
I interviewed Brian Gerrish one time. In a field at Bilderberg, yes, I got to speak to Brian. Nice guy. And I had on his sidekick, Mike Robinson.
Yes.
He's been on KBS a couple of years ago. Great team at the UK Column, yeah.
They do a phenomenal job. And then over here, I listen to Amazing Polly. I think it's Grace. I keep getting her name. Amazing Graceful or Great. Anyway, I love her. The one I introduced last time on my show, or when we did the show together. Yeah. And then I bounce around to SGT and all kinds of interesting stuff. Yeah, I'm wondering if SGT is gonna let the Qbot people go, because he in his last show last week, he and his guests were trying to explain the things that are going on, and they were kind of pushing the boundary on the Trumpster. That maybe trusting the plan's not such a great idea with the Trumpster.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
And they had to trade a little bit of the Q line.
You see, I live in a world now, Nanogirl, where there is literally only 25 letters in my alphabet. But that 17th might as well have been replaced. It doesn't exist to me anymore. I don't ask questions. I ask questions now.
Yeah.
I tell you. But it's funny you say that, because SGT was somebody, I've had him on the show before. Again,
he's a great guy.
Oh, brilliant. But I had to stop watching. It just got one letter of the alphabet for me. Way too much into that, so I had to kind of cut my ties and put my time elsewhere. I always like to hear who other people are watching, because
and headlines with a voice.
Headlines with a voice.
Do you guys? I don't know if you haven't listened to her. She's amazing. Her videos are anywhere between 2 and 4 minutes.
I see.
And then Timcast.
Timcast.
And we are changed. Like Tim, what's Tim's last name?
Tim Pool.
Oh, yes.
Right, what was that? News without headlines?
News, headlines with the voice.
Oh, sorry. How I got that, I don't know.
She lands on it, and she lives in Southern California. So she and I are both California ladies. And let me tell you something, that woman gets right to the point. She spends 2 amazingly power-packed minutes or 3 minutes, and she's just boom, boom, boom. That's it.
Yeah, I'll drop that channel in the chat room for people if they want to check it out.
She's really, really good. Absolutely. Yeah.
Algorithm
So those are.
says Quantum of Conscious is killing it lately. Must be another channel.
Yes, I've been listening to him. He's talking about just like the thinking, right? The quantum thinking. Oh my God. I have to, again, he is someone you have to pay attention when he's speaking, right? Quantum conscious. I think you have to really listen to what he's saying.
What is it? Quantum of the Conscious, is it?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I really like him. Yeah, to Stephen, yes. Robert, yes. The 11th House podcast is very good.
Here. Oh, hang on, this guy used to have a different name. Oh, what was this guy's name?
Is it first name Matt? Quantum of Conscious is killing it lately. Yeah, I agree with you guys on that.
Oh, he used to be called something else, so. Oh, I used to watch him years ago.
An algorithm, SGT has finally gotten a clue. He's almost watchable now. I tell you, you could tell that he was frustrated last week that he couldn't just blurt out what he was really thinking about all the stuff going on, because he knows. He knows. Absolutely. I think he's, and then the woman that was on the show with him, she's also has her own show, I think, and so she's also signed up with Q. And I guess if you make the Qbot folks uncomfortable and question the plan.
Oh, hey, you've seen how Scientologists act when one of their own act up, right? It's not much different. It's not much different when you try and leave the compound. I mean the group.
and I was almost laughing because it was one of those nights I couldn't sleep, and I think it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm listening and I'm thinking, oh peeps, I'm wondering if you people are going to jump out of the Q pod. You know, it's like, all right, we're kind of making a, exit stage left.
Indeedy.
But,
well, I think, Nano,
yeah.
Should we wrap it up? That's 2 hours.
I think so.
Nice round 2 hours. I have had a blast. And we didn't get as doomy and gloomy as we usually do. We just talked about the real things that are going on right now. We're not ignoring that. And me and Nano,
everybody have a good time.
Me and Nano are very, very optimistic, despite what's going on right now. And I know other people out there that are optimistic as well. I encourage all of you to be optimistic. We do play a big part in this, even if we are just one person. All those people come together, and I do think we do play a more significant role in everything than we've ever been told. And that's one thing that whoever it is that's running this planet, they don't want us to know, Nano. Because the minute we figure that out, then we do take it all back, and we do get that future that we want, right?
Well, what's that that movie Ants? If those puny ants could figure out who we are, and they don't need us or don't need to be afraid of, or there's more of them than us, or whatever he says. Yeah. That's a very good one. Yes, I agree. And well, you have to lighten up once in a while, Kev. We can't jump into it every day. No, it's just
I'm not that
too hard.
serious in the real world. It wouldn't be the real Kev if I got all serious and doom and gloom all the time. It's not how I roll. And I hate to think of leaving people in a more stressed out or...
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Why
in a worse condition than we found them.
Exactly. That would be so bad. So, Nano, I want to thank you. Hopefully we'll be able to get back together again sometime real soon. Next weekend.
That sounds good.
Yeah, next weekend, folks, I have got... I don't know if you remember, we had the phones open during the weekend. There was somebody called Jared had phoned up. He was a medium from Wales. Now, they're actually part of a paranormal research team, and they're going to be coming onto the show next weekend, hopefully. on KBS Extra. Not sure what day it's going to be yet, but you really want to be here for this one. Like I say, they're a paranormal investigation team from Wales. One of them's a medium, Jared, and they do their own show, they do their own investigations, and I don't know, I've just got a really, really, really good feeling about this one. And we're going to do it here on YouTube. We were going to do it on the radio, but then I thought, no, I think let's do it on the YouTube at the weekend. So we can all hang out, you know, we can see what's going on. And I don't know, you see, you get that sneaking feeling, Nano Girl, that there's just an unpolished gem of a show coming up. It's just, something tells me that these guys are going to raise the level completely when it comes to the woo.
I think so.
Yeah, you just get that feeling sometimes, and they're giving me that feeling. I hope I'm not building it up too much, but I don't think so. And of course, I should be back in an hour or so with Scott, maybe Joe. We'll see. If not, I'll definitely be back tomorrow. 5 to midnight in the UK. And that's 5 to 7 on the East Coast. 5 to 4 on the West Coast. I almost forgot West and East, what coasts. But Bill Bean, he's going to be here tomorrow for Warrior Mode. So
nice. Easter Sunday. That's going to be great.
You're enjoying the shows with Bill, aren't you?
I am.
Good time for us to be picking up a new kind of show to be running. I think people are
I think we're needing that. You know, a little bit of grounding, some spiritual prayer work, and regardless of what your faith is, we can all join in.
Somebody in the chat room saying, am I on TFR tonight? Not tonight. No, not tonight. It's the weekend. If I am on again, and I should be 90% sure I'll be back in an hour with Scotty at least. If not, Scotty and Joe. But like I say, back tomorrow with Bill. Back tomorrow with Popeye as well, I think. And then on Monday, I think it's Ben Emlyn Jones that's going to be on the show. Another dude from Wales.
I love Ben.
Yeah, it's all happening, Nano.
He's great. He's
Ben's
really
a good
great.
Guy. Met him in real life as well, which is quite rare. You know, people you meet, guests for the show. I'd love to meet you. I'd love to meet all the people that come on the show. But Ben, he's one of the few I have. And like I was saying with you, you're the real deal, on or off air. So is Ben. He lives this stuff. He just loves to talk about all the stories. He reads about it.
Right.
Just a brand new guy. Just a gentle giant.
That's so nice. That's so nice. He seems like it.
So, folks, Jimmy Jeans is in the chat room as well. I think he's saying he's on at 8 p.m. Pacific. Check him out. And I will be back later on, my friends. Behave. Don't get up to anything me or Nano Girl wouldn't do. It doesn't leave you a lot, I suppose, but here we go. Keep your mind open. Keep looking for the woo, but not to the point where your brain turns to black goo. Okay then, John, since you asked nicely, and since you didn't come out to play once today...
How dare you!
There you go.